אוקיי, שלום לכולם, תודה רבה שהצטרפתם אלינו. אנחנו היום בוובינר עם אנשי BeaconCure, ואני עוברת לאנגלית, כי לן איתנו והוא מדבר רק אנגלית. Hi everyone, thank you for joining us for this webinar on BeaconCure. BeaconCure innovative system will be presented by their Mr. Yoran Bar, their CEO and co-founder. Yoran is a seasoned high-tech entrepreneur with profound know-how in data systems and user experience. We also have Dr. Len Friedman. He's BeaconCure's chief scientist. Len has over 30 years of research management and program development experience in molecular cell biology and biomedical research, drug discovery, both in the private sector and in the academia. And they're here to present you with their innovative platform. I'm muting myself, and Yoran, the stage is yours.
Okay, so hi everyone. Thank you, Sigal, for the introduction. We have also Ilan Carmeli, the guy on the right with the headset. Ilan is also a co-founder and responsible for the product and the technology. So what we're going to do in the next few minutes, I'll run a quick presentation. It's nearly 7 slides, just explaining in a high-level way what is that we aim to do. We'll show you a minute and a half of a video describing the process or the flow in the platform itself, and then we'll leave the rest of the time for questions and an interactive discussion based on anything that you want to ask, and you know, we'll just take it from there. So BeaconCure, we started about 8 months ago. We're based in Tel Aviv. We are in seed financing. Background is data systems, big data. Each of us have done a few projects before, and this is basically the latest, our latest development in big data. Moving on to the presentation. So BeaconCure is built on 3 pillars. We have the RFP callers or the founders on one side. Those can be patient advocacy groups, pharma companies, biomed, biotech, charity foundations, essentially any type of entity worldwide that would like to finance or to fund medical research in any field. Then the second pillar is the researchers. Those would be, again, worldwide, based on certain criteria, data, subject data around a certain disease or expertise. And the third pillar is the global database that we are constantly developing, silos of data around disease-centric data that comes from publications, any type of data that's out there, which we structure into our own system. How does that all come together? So, like I said, what we're trying to do is we're trying to help researchers discover and fulfill calls in the way that is efficient and effective once you, as a researcher, receive the opportunity to actually read or come across an RFP. So, and that will be translated later into something that I'll show you in the system. But imagine that you have 4 elements. You can use our functionality to quickly review an RFP and see if it's interesting and matching your interest, your experience and know-how. You'll be able to discover based on keywords and search all the relevant RFPs that are currently in the system available for submission. You'll be able to search in databases that are relevant in order to either satisfy your curiosity or support you in what we call the high-level literature of actually creating your proposal. And later on, we'll offer tools to collaborate, basically offering you system recommendations that relates to the RFP creation process. So how does that all come together? We are building algorithms that constantly scan and identify, on one hand, relevant RFPs. We attract those entities that I mentioned earlier to come and create the RFPs with us, and then we distribute those RFPs based on the criteria of the research caller. And in the background, we put to use our technologies that have machine learning capabilities that constantly learn more and more about the RFP, the domain itself, and connect the creation process with the researchers worldwide. Also offering to collaborate, so if there's a leader and he's looking for more researchers to join, the system will be able to recommend that as well. Obviously not from day one, but as we go along. So effectively, we help to get the call in. We optimize the way that the call is being written, described, and then distributed. And then we help the researchers fulfill the requirements. We help them with the process of actually constructing the proposal, send it back, and in the background there's a validation process to make sure that the proposals match the requests in the RFP, and try to get a smooth, easy, fast, and efficient process of connecting the two, and also at the end to get the finances moved from one side to the other in an easy, fast, and safe and efficient manner. So some value-added features that the system is going to present. We're going to develop a global database that will allow researchers to basically access, to discover, to access RFP in a fast and easy way. The research database is not open to the public. This is something that is very restrictive. All the data in the system is keyword driven, with tags and with numerous protocols that we put in place from various industries that we work in the past. We basically bring know-how of the last 10 years in keyword-driven database from marketing, from advertising, and from biotech as well into this system, allowing efficient and effective search and discover. Real-time analytics that would be embedded within the system, again allowing for efficiency and discovery of data that might be useful for the construction of the RFP or for the construction of the proposals. Then the fulfillment tools, also up-to-date QA protocols. We all know that there is an issue with replication of research and with basically alignment of quality assurance standards within the way that researches are being conducted. Dr. Friedman can talk about that a bit later via the organization that he's leading, which is doing interesting stuff in quality assurance standards and protocols. This is, by the way, in line with what NIH is constantly doing, and we are in discussions with NIH as well. And of course, some kind of a transparency within the system concerning all the financial elements of getting the money in and to the researcher in a very fast and efficient manner, with all the issues of overhead and IP and royalties, etc., etc. So this is the core team. These are us, three of us, and we have another bioinformatic specialist. We also have a team of developers, designers, and some other folks who are working with us. And that's basically the presentation, and I will now pop the video and show you in a minute or two how the actual process is being done. Let me just share my screen. 1 second. So this is the entrance. Here you can see, so basically this is a three-way step. This is a proposal, an RFP that's being created. And you can see that there's a lot of already pre-filled areas here. You can see quality assurance, some protocols, overhead, royalties. You can see this screen, for example, that you have the areas of open calls that are relevant, then open proposals, and then publications. If you want to upload publications that might be relevant later on. Here, in a very clear and easy manner, you can see all the relevant data that is relevant for the calls. And here, you can see all the relevant data for the proposals themselves. So this is basically a step where a proposal is being created. Might be a bit too fast. You also have the opportunity to contact us in terms of support and basically ask for modifications. Let's say that you've done something and now you want to change things in the proposal, or if you want to upload a Word document and you want us to help translate that proposal into a digital file, so on and so forth. We have a whole support mechanism that helps to basically to create the proposal. Okay, so that's basically it. Go back. Okay, how do I go back to? Okay, so here I am. Leonard, do you want to add anything? Ilan?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I would like to add two things. One, the platform, as Yoran mentioned, is based on algorithm and big data analytics. So actually, the private funds are going to come after the right researcher globally all around the world. It means it's not going to be a regular grant warehouse. Actually, any researcher will get only the relevant grants that match his profile. All right. So second, the platform are not going to change the way the researchers are going to work today. So all the things are getting done background. So it means our system knows how to crunch the relevant data and to upload it to the system, and then to recommend the funder or the researcher what to do next. What is the next step? So basically, it can be saves a lot of time, also for the funder and also for the researcher.
Okay. If you have any questions, I think now is the time to try and answer. Also, you can feel free to shoot me an email on any question that you may have. I see here a question on the left by Malachi Noked. What is the difference between your platform and platform already existing research authorities within the universities? Well, essentially, we are not university driven, meaning that our reach and discovery is quite wider and quite open. Also, the way that we validate and score the proposals against the RFP is done in a you can call it a systematic manner. Imagine that an organization is creating an RFP, sending it out, and getting about, I don't know, 200 proposals. Our system is able to basically validate and grade and present only the top 10 or top 20% based on what the RFP owner requests. We would like to believe that our reach is wider, and it's going to be way more diverse than one university vertical or one system in place. And the trick is basically to invite all the organizations that are creating, all the entities that are creating RFPs to join the fast and efficient process that we're offering, basically cutting down their costs and their efforts that are currently invested in creating the calls, and basically by that offering them to use us as a cheap, effective tool for the creation, the distribution, the discovery, and the fulfillment for the research community. Nir, sorry, go ahead.
I think the other point, the other distinction to be made between a university research office and BeaconCure is that usually it's a sort of one-way direction. For good reason, the university is looking for funders for, the scientists, principal investigators that are at the host university. This is more of a two-way function where this tool can be used for the funders to find you and for you to find the funders. I think that's another point.
Okay, so Nir is asking, are you focusing only on disease-related funding? Yes, at this time, we would like to focus on disease-related area. Later on, we might open it to more subject domains, but at this time, yes, it is. Rafael is asking, I find it hard to believe that the system will take any traction anywhere in the world. For example, as the Canadian researcher, I have only few opportunities to apply for grant outside of Canada. Anywhere there are very strict eligibility criteria. True, but it depends from where the RFP comes from. If it comes from a foundation that is based on donations, that the restriction is only per the geographical area, that's true. But if you look at the industry, if you look at biomed companies that are looking for specific research concerning a molecule or an enzyme or anything else that they have in-house, even a pharma, then the issue is not geographic, it's more about probably overhead, IP, and royalties. So it really depends. We'd like to keep it as wide as possible and to get as many entities to basically participate. I hope that answers your question. Again, feel free to shoot me an email if you want to continue the discussion, and I'll be more than happy to answer. Any more questions?
Yeah, there.
Okay, could you elaborate more about the last point made by Leo? What do you mean by funders are going to fund you? To fund you. Well, if I understood the question correctly, it was how the entities are going to create RFPs and how are they going to find us, in the sense that to bring the RFPs to our system. We're working with I think various entities, if we're talking about patient advocacy groups, we're approaching them from basically a few different directions, offering, I would say, substantial triggers to cut their cost, time, and effort in order to help them advance more with their research needs. The patient advocacy group as an entity, they run, I think twice a year. Usually, they run RFPs. They have enough budget, but the turnaround time from creating the RFP to actually getting their scientific board to review the proposal is something that takes them more than a year. And we've been talking to a few CEOs of groups like that. That's one of the first groups that is going to benefit from using our system substantially because of the, essentially, from all the efficiency gains that I explained, plus we are going to present them with some kind of an ROI on the spend that they're spending now on, even in the evaluation phase, and what we can do for them in terms of cutting down time and cost. So, like I said earlier, we have patient advocacy groups, we have biomed companies, biotech, even before IPO, after IPO, with enough budget and a lot of research needs and less available, reliable researchers who can actually conduct those research projects. Find the researchers. How are we going to find the researchers? Well, there are two ways to access researchers today, either via the academy, and we have been talking to quite a few academies about onboarding the researchers that are working with them in various ways. 100% from the universities and academies that we spoke with today are willing to at least pilot with us because it's in their best interest to get their researchers discovered and get those grants in. They benefit from the overhead and they benefit from their researchers being busy, and that's always interesting for them. And the second is to, I would say, some kind of a cold approach. If the researcher, if we discover a researcher that is not listed with us yet, and we find him or her either via a global algorithmic search that we're doing, then that person via the active email that he's using is going to get an invite from us to see the RFP and then to decide if they want to join or not. Will the researcher need to pay? No, absolutely not. We gain, basically our revenue would come from the funder side. So we will take what we call a success commission when the RFP owner connects with the researcher. So from the budget, there's going to be an on-top fee that is going to be paid for the use of the system. There's no payment at any point from anyone aside from the success fee, especially not from researchers or academies or anyone on the research side. Rafael, I suggest you tap into ORCID. Okay, I'm not familiar with them. I'll definitely take note and figure out who they are. Well, we are starting with the US and Israel for obvious reasons that it's easy. Gradually, we're going to open it to other English-speaking countries, Canada, obviously, UK, Australia as well. At some point in the future, we're going to move into other languages. It's going to be a bit more tricky, but we need to establish ourselves first in the English-speaking markets. So US, Israel, Canada, and other countries, and then later on we're going to branch out to more areas. Again, the idea is to try and reach as many researchers as possible in order to find the best relevant match for the RFP. Molly Herman, could you elaborate more about the machine learning and if we have already a collaboration on that? No, that's in the pipeline. The idea in designing a machine learning capability, I have experience in that in the past, and so is Ilan. The idea behind machine learning is that once you understand what the research goals are in terms of the RFP, and the system is crunching enough data on published researchers that have been done, let's say on skin cancer. Let's say that there's an RFP on skin cancer, and our system is now crunching or reading, if you will, all the relevant skin cancer research publications that have been done in the past or are in process that we have access to, published. The system will be able to recommend the next steps, both for the RFP owner and both for the researcher, on how to conduct the proposal. So if it's an RFP on skin cancer and the RFP owner says, okay, I want to file a request to research on molecule A, for example, and our system discovered that that specific point A has been researched in the past, and we are identifying a trend that it's not just point A, but maybe point A and point B is an interesting trend to ask for proposals, then we're going to offer it to the RFP owner. Same goes with the researcher. If he's creating if he's creating a proposal, and that proposal is based on his know-how, and we discover that it might be more interesting, the system is going to discover that it might be more interesting to offer more areas to explore, it can take that into account. The way that the system is going to recommend subject matter data comes from learning what has been done in the past, identifying linkage, identifying synergies, and basically recommending new ways to move forward. Also, if we, for example, we get 100 proposals in for the skin cancer research, and the system already identifies that there is a very interesting offer based on the requirements coming from one researcher, but a collaboration with another researcher who wrote a proposal about something else, and together the synergy in both actually answers something that the RFP owner wants, the system is going to recommend to connect between researcher A and researcher B for the best benefit of the RFP owner. So predicting, recommending, identifying, showing trends, digesting data that has been published in the past, and promoting something for the future. That's the essence of what we're trying to do with that term machine learning. Yes, the system is live. No, there is no skin cancer RFP. That was just an example. We are talking to a few organizations, so there might be RFPs coming in. Later on, we can send you a link that you can join the system and basically register, so you'll be exposed to anything that would come in, and based on the keywords that you're going to choose, those new RFPs are going to be sent your way. We're going to upload projects soon as they materialize. It really depends on the RFP owners, but for sure you want to be there first, because the less the community, the more RFPs, the more it might be suitable and interesting for you. So definitely, we're in beta stage. We're live, and you will be able to join the platform either by sending me an email or by us sending you via BioAbroad a link to join the system. The last point about the system matching researchers may not know each other. Definitely, we think that matching between researchers and creating synergies also makes sense. We played with that idea when speaking with some entities, both from pharma and from the patient groups. It makes a lot of sense to them as well. We have a few pilots that we are currently conducting with a bit of different entities. Those are biotech incubators who are either searching for researchers or searching for new technologies. Some of them have RFPs that they get from the pharma, and they actually do the legwork. And what we do for them is we discover the researchers for them based on the criteria that they give us. And one of the interesting things that we found is that we actually bring them more researchers, qualified researchers, to conduct RFPs that they have done manually. So it already pays off. It's just a matter of doing the work. And the more researchers are going to join our platform, we can identify them faster because the system is going to recommend them as well. So it's going to be kind of a push-pull thing rather than us applying a manual search for a specific type of research. Ilan Sigal says that we can share the link now in the chat if you want.
Okay,
no
problem.
If you want to put if you want to put it here in the chat, you can do that.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Okay, so if that's it, thank you very much for your time. Again, feel free to shoot us emails, to ask questions. The more information that we have, the more we would like to share it with you. It's in our best interest to have more researchers join us. It's a win-win for us. It's a win-win for the RFP owners. It's a way to get things done faster, easier, more efficient, we hope. Get the budget approved faster and onto the research side. And from what we have been done so far, we think that what we know that it makes sense and that it's going to work well. Yeah, and we're just eager to see you use the platform. So thank you very much for your patience and for your questions. We will probably be in the States in June or July, starting in the East Coast. So if you want to know when we're going to visit your area and you want to come by and meet us and talk or ask us questions how to get on board, please feel free to do so. That's it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, so thank you very much again for coming and presenting this, and thank you everyone for joining. This webinar was again recorded and will be on our YouTube channel in a day or two, and you're welcome to share with us questions or connect with Yoran directly, and I'm sure they'll be very happy to answer your questions and have you join in. So good night, everyone in Israel, and I don't know, have a good lunch in the US.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.